Hello, my name is Mrs. Horn and I'm a teacher at Sandy Plains State Public School. Today I will present to you a sequence of 3 mathematical lessons that I have planned for our multi-age classroom, which consists of students in years 4, 5 and 6. In our classroom, we are fortunate to have Molly, an experienced full-time teacher aide, as well as Kath, an Aboriginal support worker who visits our classroom. This term, we have been completing a unit on mathematical investigations. These are centred around authentic problems and incorporate different strands in the Australian curriculum mathematics. In lessons 6 to 9, we are now entering a new authentic problem for the 3rd time within this unit. Lesson 6 will commence with a video from John, who is the local captain of the SES and an employee at the mines. He will pose a mission to all the students to set the scene of learning throughout these lessons. The mission will entail a horrendous dust storm has hit their community and it is like nothing they have experienced before. The farmers are really struggling to get their animals to safety and all members of the community need to help. John emphasises the need for our class to help Farmer Jane and Joe to get their animals to safety. John delegates specific roles to each year in the classroom. Year 4 needs to collect and record how many of each type of animal are on Jane and Joe's farms by surveying them. Using this data, Year 5 needs to represent the survey results into a graph. Using the survey and graph, Year 6 then need to interpret this information and check its accuracy to help John. By completing this mission, John will then have all the data to make informed decisions about how many volunteers to send in to help these farmers, and most importantly, be able to get the animals to safety. For students to succeed, John has set each year level some tasks to complete to be equipped to conquer this mission. Dewey, as cited in GenLink 2009, supports the strategy of planning a rural theme that considers the geographical location linking the local mining company and community together to be meaningful to students' everyday lives whilst demonstrating maths in a real-world context. The mission will focus on the curriculum strand statistics and probability. More specifically, students will learn the knowledge and skills in relation to the data representation and interpretation substrand in the Australian curriculum mathematics. Let's take a look at the overall focus for each year level and see how they all explore a common theme of data, but there is differentiation to cater for the learning outcomes for each year level. These lessons have omitted strategies that directly contrast building upon curriculum expectations from year to year by not allowing the different years to be working on different strands. Queensland Studies Authority 2006 supports making links between year levels for a seamless curriculum. The outcome for students in Year 4 will be to select and trial methods for data collection, including survey questions and recording sheets. They will be assessed on the method used to collect data. Students in Year 5 will be working towards posing questions and collecting data by observation or survey, similar to Year 4. Additionally, they will construct displays including column graphs, dot plots and tables, appropriate for the data type, with and without the use of digital technologies. So Year 5 students will revisit prior knowledge of posing questions and collecting data by survey, and identify and justify the best methods of presenting data to illustrate the results of the investigation. Outcomes for students in Year 6 will be of a higher order thinking level, where they are interpreting and comparing a range of data displays, including side-by-side column graphs for 2 categorical variables. Students will compare different tables and graphs, describing their similarities and differences, and comment on the usefulness of each representation for interpreting the data. Overall, outcomes extend to a high level of knowledge and skills being promoted from year to year. Now looking at the lesson sequence to see how this will work in our multi-age classroom. In Lesson 6, all students will come together to be presented with the authentic problem that they will need to investigate through problem-based learning. This approach to learning will see a challenging problem driving student-centered instruction based on constructivism, where collaborative groups will find solutions and the teacher will act as a facilitator to minimally guide instruction. Van der Waal, Karp and Bay-Williams 2013 states this approach will drive learning and development of deep conceptual knowledge through critical reasoning and thinking. He further argues it is the best approach to cater for all learning abilities and diversities as students can make sense of mathematics in their own way. Many theorists such as Freud, Erikson, Piaget and Vygotsky acknowledge that children learn at different stages. Given the classroom ability levels range from Year 2 to Year 6, there needs to be considerations for those students working at lower ability levels. At the beginning of Lesson 6, students in all year levels will be revisiting what should be prior knowledge. Revisiting prior knowledge engages students in learning to practice and reinforce their knowledge and skills. For those students that do not have this prior knowledge, it provides opportunity to develop their conceptual understanding further and build upon gaps they may have in their learning. According to Jamison Proctor 2011, there needs to be considerations to the mathematical language model to enable students to progress from familiar to symbolic mathematical language stages to construct deep conceptual understanding. Understanding the needs of students who work at not only lower levels but also at higher levels, differentiation will be planned for by including one particular Year 5 student into the Year 6 cohort to work at a more challenging learning level due to their high mathematical ability. With the first Year 6 lesson being planned to draw upon prior knowledge, this gifted student can be pre-tested to assess achievement abilities to ensure the student is meeting required outcomes in not only mathematics but the ability to communicate verbally and written to this higher level. This pre-test will determine the appropriateness of the lessons to follow. If required, within the following lessons, leadership opportunities will also be available for the student. These strategies are recommended by the New South Wales Department of Education and Training Curriculum K-12 Directorate 2004 to improve outcomes for gifted students. All year levels will be revisiting prior knowledge by using online resources. The implementation of ICT facilities such as interactive whiteboards, computers, online investigations, and multimodal presentations, according to Torgerson and Koo 2010, will support learning as students are naturally engaged and find lessons appealing. A benefit of online learning is that it caters for Gardner's multiple intelligences 2011 through its use of semiotic systems. Online resources also provide timely and appropriate feedback to students about their learning. Hands-on resources are used during collaborative learning with Year 4 and Year 5 students completing an investigation where they'll discover for themselves that the data they have collected does not adequately address the reason for collecting the data. This strategy allows Year 5 students to further build on the prerequisite knowledge if they are not achieving the standard of their year level currently. Furthermore, utilising this strategy will support the diverse learners in the classroom. For example, Nation and Newton 2009 suggests by creating a collaborative learning community within the classroom, students with ESL are encouraged to recognise how communication takes place so that they can agree on a mutually acceptable mode of communication. Nicol 2009 would support this planning as collaborative learning and the use of hands-on resources can be particularly valuable for Aboriginal students as traditional education was informal and skills were learned through observation, imitation, and practice during day-to-day activities. During the investigation, Year 4 and Year 5 are provided with a worksheet to guide and scaffold their learning. This worksheet caters for different ability levels by colour coding to direct each ability level accordingly. The colour coding may support groups of students who need it or be ignored if not required. This approach is consistent in keeping with Vygotsky's, as cited in Sigelman Ryder 2009, Zone of Proximal Development. Vygotsky states, learning in collaboration with more knowledgeable companions drives cognitive development. Therefore, peer learning will cater for the different ability levels as well. Additionally, the worksheet allows students to self-monitor their own and their peers' learning to determine if they are collecting and organising data appropriately. This worksheet acts as a tool to direct students' learning, which enables the teacher time to give attention to those students who require further assistance. At the completion of each lesson, all year levels join together in a yarning circle. Bessarab, 2012, states yarning circles are culturally appropriate for Aboriginal students as they are an effective method of communicating in a manner that is less formal and everyone is on the same level. The yarning circle will be used for reflection. Van der Waal et al. 2013 states, reflection facilitates connection to prior knowledge and construction of new knowledge. Further strategies include incorporating WALT, we are learning too, WILT, what I'm looking for, and TIB, this is because, into the beginning of each lesson. Way and Hickton, 2011, state these will keep lessons focused, objective-led, and in context for the learners. The use of these strategies give the lesson a purpose, explain what is required from the students, and inform why what they are learning is important. Lastly, Killen, 2013, supports assessment being an integral part of students' everyday learning. The mission will be their summative assessment. The mission activities will be at staggered times as each year level needs the contributions of the younger year levels to complete the mission. The teacher will also be working with the students during these times to make observations whether individual students are achieving the desired outcomes of their year. So whilst Year 4 complete their mission, Year 5 and Year 6 will still be working on tasks designed to give them the knowledge and skills to be successful in their contributions to the mission.